go.
Yeah.
I think we're alive. I think we're alive. Listen,
we're live, but
this is the Italian power right here. We got Dr. Joe Borio, Dr. Joe, another Joe, Fiorino,
there we go.
Who's an expert with pediatrics. Good to have you here today, Joe.
Hey, so glad to be here, and always a pleasure to be around the infamous Joe Borio.
Oh yeah. Well, right back at you. So listen, I know you're a busy guy. You were telling me you had some fun this morning with the family. So we wanted to talk about bringing kids in. Obviously, we got a big event coming up in November 7th and 8th. Honor to have you there. So Dr. Joe's actually going to be there. He's got some great products. He owns Chiropractic, which is phenomenal. But you're also an expert with children for multiple reasons. How many children do you have yourself, Dr. Joe?
6 of them, ranging from 12 to 23.
So if there's anyone that's an expert, because I have 4, so if there's anyone that's an expert on children, if you will,
well,
we got this guy here.
And experience are not necessarily synonymous.
Yeah, that's great. So we want to talk about bringing chiropractic to the world. We want to talk about bringing chiropractic to children, to families. We want to show value, obviously. And one of the things you did, Joe, and I'm not talking necessarily directly in practice, you started a company. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. Chiropractic is the company, and we have children's adjusting tables. We have currently 5 educational toys, and the whole idea is to get the chiropractic concept into their heads and understanding at earliest ages. We've actually got 3 more new toys will be coming out soon that are in development, and we're doing a different base for our the tables and such. So there's a few new changes that'll be coming up before too long, but the whole thing was born out of, I can remember where I was and what I was doing. I was seeing this family that I've now seen for years. They had 3 children when they started. They now have 7 children, and I've been there for every one of those and adjusted them within the youngest, or the earliest one was one of them. She came in the door with the little one, and she said 23. And I'm like, 23 what? Like ingredients in Dr. Pepper? And she's like 23 hours old, and brought them in for their first adjustment. Wow. And anyway, I was adjusting that family early on, and just seeing the kids on the floor playing with other toys. I'm like, it'd be great. It's like kids learn while they're playing and interacting. It's like, I want something that communicates chiropractic to them instead of just stuff. Yeah. That, and then, we wanted a fun table, something to create a different environment, and didn't like some of the things that were out there, or not to say that they're horrible or just like, I wanted something different, and my kids agreed. And so we came up with something different.
Yeah. But, we have one of your tables. We have the outline with the nerve impulse and such. Along with a couple other things, and they are, and I get nothing out of saying this. I'm not an affiliate or anything, right? My opinion's the best products when it comes to pediatric and chiropractic and connecting it, because I love it that it really starts with the principle. Like that, one of my favorites is the cutout with the message and the dials and the nerve impulse. It's showing that signal that goes through there, and it gives you a platform of communication. Which is just phenomenal. And that's part of it, right? Part of it is, you got these beautiful tables. So it makes it normal for a parent. It doesn't look, something that's ominous or scary or something that's unusual. It also looks clean and professional. It looks fun. It's inviting. It's friendly interaction with children, all of your products. And your tables are fantastic as well. One of the things I love about your table is, it's light. Some of the tables are they're great in the sense, there's really heavy kind of a homemade structure, but yours are, you've got that laminated plywood, which is nice, and it fits together kind of like a puzzle, but it doesn't even look like that. But it's really beautiful, classy, but it's light, so it's easy to move and maneuver through your practice, which I love.
Very easy, right? I was going to point out too, is that back on the chart, what's the only chart you really need?
You need the autonomic chart, man. You need the nerve chart. That's
Like,
it.
that's pretty much all I use. And then
Yeah.
so we just put it as a foundational piece in our toys. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's a Joe Borio brainchild. One of the things I came up with a long time ago, and I never did it, but this is something you can add is I always said on your face paper, like I want to see face paper with the autonomic nerve chart. So when I pull the roller, I got the sheet and I put it on there. There's the autonomic chart, man. That's what it's all about, right there.
I've actually thought about it. It's like, well, you'd have to widen the space in there so you
Yes.
can actually see. But I'm like, what if I had like a scrolling icon, something themed rolling underneath the table? I guess
Yes.
now you could do like an
Yes.
iPad or something and stick it in there.
Yes.
But
Yeah. One of my Borioisms is they never get it, so we walk through thinking they get it. And it's sometimes, and Joe, right? Even parents, like sometimes they're kind of there, but then they lose it so quickly. I always say it's allopathic crazy land. Like the minute you step over the threshold and you go out to the world, it's an outside in mentality. It doesn't mean that doesn't have, that's never necessary and there's no value there ever, but the idea of that your body has the ability, the innate ability to heal and restructure and remanifest itself, and that it does that better through a better connection. They forget that, and they forget it quickly a lot of times. So,
well, I don't remember who I heard say this before, but it's like, so we're born in a hospital typically. So like your first day is just, you're inundated with that line of thinking. And when they leave, so you have that growing up typically for most folks. And then you're inundated when you walk back home, and it's just there. And then the way our short-term memory works, you say it once, and there's like 5 or 6 bits of information we can hold on until we have to commit it to middle and long-term kind of memory there. So they hear that and go, oh, that's a great idea. Makes sense. And then another bit of information comes in and keeps bumping it. It bumps it out. And then they're back into the cycle of inundated with all the information. It's like, you've got to hear it over and over, and you got to get them to talk about it. The Socratic method kind of stuff of getting them to express back to you is like, how do you understand that? Does this make sense to you? And then here's some, get them to like commit it to that next level of memory. All these kind of things is so critical.
Yes. And your products, again, from a pediatric
help do that.
Right. Because
visual stimulation is part of it, touching, tactile, it's triggering all these different things, because that's where we store memory. There's not like this little location in our brain for memory. It's stored where we experience it.
Right.
That's how memory works. It's all these little bits and pieces farmed out, like the blockchain kind of technology in the brain. And it's like it's stored everywhere. So you got to experience it in all those different ways, so it'll latch in deeper anchors in your brain. And this is why we do the stuff like that.
Yeah, there was a great study that I often reference, as a coach, as a chiropractic performance coach, and that is there's a neuropathophysiology study, and it was done in 1990, early 1990s, and it showed that the nerve root, a nerve, actually dies. So the neural fibrils will actually die in a matter of weeks, with any neuronal compression. So you got the epineurium and perineurium and such. So those die. So it's so critical for children, because I think we forget that you are neurologically, from a neurologic, I'm not talking pathophysiology, I'm not even talking physiology, and there's so many other components that are affected with the nervous system sick, but you're neurologically compromised almost always when you come into the world. So when you're born, your ability to see, to hear, to taste, to touch, to think, to breathe, it's like a dimmer switch. It's down to some degree. So you're still not neurologically so-called 100% intact with subluxation. And then we know through the research that those neural fibrils are going to die. So if I'm subluxated at birth and I'm not corrected and I'm not evaluated, then I'm going to have some permanent neurologic loss that certainly is going to lead to some level, and it may be immeasurable in those moments, but that is a measurable loss in your quality of life, because we live our life through the nervous system. So anything that allows me to see a greater value to bring my children in, and I would say it's a need, necessity and a requirement, for chiropractic care. But anything that helps that, even non-conversational, you put your beautiful table, you put your beautiful products out there, and immediately starts the right conversation. I always say, anything that makes it easier for any doctor, it's going to make it easier to get more children in. So
absolutely. Well, I can't remember. It might have been Joe D'Onofrio. I'm sure you know who Joe D'Onofrio is.
Yeah.
And it might have been for you. It might have been from somewhere else. But I can't remember. It's that language of, it's not a matter of if, it's a when. That because that nerve compromise, it's a when that you're going to start seeing manifestations of dysfunction and dysregulation, all the disses and all of it's just going to happen. So like just because you don't see anything today, that's not the point. Because that's part of that allopathic model is like, you're not sick until you have symptoms. It's like, no, it's like you're on a path of that, either moving towards it or away from it.
Yes.
And on the study that you're bringing up, is this the same study? I only got a portion of the study. It was published either earlier this year or at the end of last year. And so seeing that they can now see those microfibril connections of the nervous system all the way down to a cellular level. And then the amazing thing on it is that they noted that if that connection is not there, or if I forget the language, but our language is like, if it's interfered with in any way, that cell will not regenerate properly, or in some cases not going to try to regenerate. Is that part of that same study?
No, that's another study that was up more recently. The one I was quoting was a while ago. But what's amazing is some of the newer research. And again, it's not chiropractic journal, but it's all about chiropractic. We get atrophy, in the gray matter. We're going to get any area that's not connected. Those neurons up in the brain, they become they shrink. They lose they lose. Why would they have any attention to that neural pathway anymore? Because nothing's feeding it, nothing's coming in. So, unless neuroplasticity kicks in, thankfully it does, to help compensate us for those losses. But we're still not neurologically competent. If your car gets into an accident and they rebuild it, and got a wire harness, and they can't get a new wire harness, they're gonna do the best they can. The car might still start and function, but there's something lost inherently. The car will never perform at its best, and we won't either. We forget that. And going a little deeper on the metaphysical, philosophical aspect of it, but there's entropy, right? So we're always moving to a level of diffusion, a level of higher disorder. So it's vital force, the intelligence, right? The energy, the force. That is what's pushing against what would be entropy. If I remove that, I put you out in the front yard, you become a pile of dirt. So there's obviously something else that's going on against entropy, that's reorganizing and remanifesting and restructuring my body all the time. And when we lose that connection, like you were talking about Joe D'Onofrio, that's what happens. It's not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. And it may manifest differently in you. It may be a kidney, where for me, it might be a thyroid. To somebody else, it might be their bladder. You don't know, but it's never good. I always say, no subluxation is good. Being crooked isn't good. I always say, it's what's better, straight or crooked? I mean, what's healthier, straight or crooked? Like most people inherently know, even if they can't put their vocabulary on it, they know straighter is better than crooked. And if you're crooked, I always say, you can't drug it straight, you can't pill it straight, you can't stretch it straight, you can't rub it straight. You got to go to a chiropractor. Bones in your teeth need an orthodontist. Bones in your body and spine need a chiropractor, and that's the only way to do it. So
one of my former patients, he was heavy nutritional, help people with nutritional stuff, and he said on the topic where they talk about, well, if I just do a little bit, or said if I only this and only that, and he said, well, would you rather be shot with just a little bit of a bullet or a whole bullet? He's like, neither one. You're right.
Exactly.
I thought that was a great line.
Yeah. He's dead straight. I mean,
he's on. He's like, you're dead either way.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I love the fact that, obviously you have a beautiful practice because you're in Missouri, right? Am I saying that right?
Southern Missouri. Yep. Yeah.
So you're in Missouri. How many years you been in practice?
This May was 18 years.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah. So 18 years of practice, you got a great practice. You see a lot of people, obviously a lot of families, a lot of babies. And then you've got a company that makes it easier for all of us, regardless of where you are in practice, makes it easier to bring children and families in. And like I said, we're really excited. So we've got a big event. We're going to be in Fort Lauderdale. Dr. Joe's going to actually be there, and we're going to be able to, talk a little bit more about children. We're going to be talking a little bit more about pediatrics. We've got Dr. Norm Colby, who's an expert in adjusting. He's going to be doing an adjusting portion of the event on Saturday. We got Dr. Jimmy Allgood, who's just had an unbelievable explosive growth in chiropractic practice since he's been a member of Chiropractic. Joe McCullough, he's actually been with me 12 years. He just had his 2 busiest years of practice. I mean, awesome. Continues to grow. Dr. Michael Cohen, he has had unbelievable growth. I think he's 4 times what he was when he started with me just a couple of years ago. So I wanted him to share his story. We also have Leanne Klein and Lisa Guerin, and they're my CAs. They've been with me, Leanne, almost 30 years, Lisa, 25 years, I believe. Right. Yeah. And they've been with us all that period of time. So they're the best. I'm biased, but they're literally the best CAs on the planet. And so we're honored to have them there. And then we're going to be going over all this, but Joe's going to be there, and he's going to give, you're going to give a little incentive, right? So anybody there buys any product, you're going to what?
I haven't got that lined out yet, but we will make it.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah, huge.
So when Joe's there, he's going to offer something special for anybody that attends the program. We were talking about that as well. It's $199. So for any docs out there, it's free for students. If you're a chiropractic student, if you know some students, we're going to be in Fort Lauderdale, November 7th and 8th. The registration's right above. And then any docs that want to attend, it's $199 per doc, no charge for your staff. And we are going to kill it. We start Friday at 5:00. Yep. Registration's at 4:30. We've got some great speakers. We do philosophy. We do an after-hours party with drinks and food on Friday night, and then we go pretty much all day Saturday. We register at 8:30. We start at 9. We go right till 5:30, 6 o'clock. Depending on how the energy level is. It is awesome. It is fantastic. So any final words, Joe? Anything you want to share?
That's a great deal for all you people listening or whoever this is going to get out to. That's an amazing deal. Joe Borio changed my practice, changed so many things. He is the real deal. He is he's an incredible source. And he is on the right focus of getting the word out there and helping people understand and helping them. Reality is, they don't really get it, but you got to keep after it, and the methods that he uses and what he teaches about and where he's come from. He's the real deal, people. Making a huge difference in our profession.
Thank you.
And has been for many, many years. And Chiropassion is obviously got the chiro in there, but if you guys haven't seen it, and it's like the for however many years, I don't know how many it's been, I've been around you, Joe, but I was like, I've always come with just that passion. Maybe it's the Italian thing, I don't know, but
a little bit of both,
a little bit of whatever, but that's got to come from somewhere, and it's coming from just because you love this and you love people and you love helping them get the big idea, and you love helping them learn how to. I'm going, just hearing you talk about some of the people come on here, you're just as excited as they are. Maybe
I am.
And like their practices are growing. This is going great. And it's just, love getting around you, Joe. You're a great guy.
Thank you, Joe. Right back at you. It's going to be great. We're really looking forward to it. Joe, thanks for being part of it as well. And Joe's going to have a vendor booth there as well. And you can be able to talk to him. And like I said, he'll give you some special discounts. And, one thing I love about Joe, I guess in our final moment here, is Dr. Joe, and very much like me. I mean, Joe's in it to win it, but he's in it to win it for the profession first. When you meet him and hear him and talk to him, I mean, we all got to do well. We all have to make a living, and we obviously have to support our families and support our practices and our teams and all of that, obviously. But on the other end, we could all do anything, and it is a calling many times for many of us, and you'll sense that with Joe. There's a true authenticity and a huge heart, and he's in it to win it for the right reason. Just like me, I'm in it to win it. I'm in it to win it for you guys. I want you guys to kick ass. I don't want you to be apathetic. I don't want you to be burnout. I don't want you to be, oh man, what are we going to do? I don't want practice to be hard. I want it to be easy.
Right.
I want people to stay forever. How do you do that? How do you communicate? What should you say? What shouldn't you say? We're going to go over that. You're going to hear from other doctors. You're going to hear from Dr. Joe. It's going to be freaking fantastic. So make sure you hit the link. I think we're 3 weeks out for the event. So make sure you guys register. We're at the Hilton Beach. Some guys are, it's not the least expensive hotel. So grab an Airbnb, get a hotel that's a little cheaper up the street. Take an Uber, walk over right on the beach. The weather's fantastic. We have a meet and greet Thursday night as well. I think it's $50 or $55, and that's just a chance to meet some of the speakers and meet some of the other docs. It'll be a lot of fun. We got a beautiful room. We're in the ballroom. We got a stage. I mean, it is going to be absolutely fantastic. We're really excited. So thanks again, Joe. I appreciate your time today.
Yeah, you bet. Anytime, Joe.
Yep. Talk to you guys. Make sure you register.